We are making clam cluffies, clam fluffies. Stick around because we are making clam stuffies. Whatever you want to call them, these stuffed clams are going to give you all those beachy vibes right in your very own kitchen. And for this recipe, we are going to be adding in some Portuguese flavors with one of my favorite sausages of all time, and that is linguiça. It's garlicky, it's zesty, and it is going to add so much flavor to our filling. The first thing we need to do to make our stuffed clams is we need to cook them. To do that, we are gonna steam them in a combination of clam juice, and this is 1 cup, and also some dry white wine, and this is also 1 cup. So let's bring this to a boil. For this recipe, we're gonna be using littleneck clams. Once your liquid is coming to a boil, you're gonna go ahead and add your clams. And I actually like to add them gently because sometimes if you just pour them or dump them in, they can crack. Make sure they're all sort of touching the liquid there. And we're gonna go ahead and cover the Dutch oven. These are gonna take about 5 to 7 minutes, but what I like to do is keep an eye on them, and as the clams open, I like to take them out and transfer them to a baking sheet. Let's take a peek. And it's happening! So you want a heat-proof bowl and a fine sieve. And what we want to do is strain our cooking liquid because some of this we are going to use in our filling. And I like to pour pretty slowly and leave any sand or grit that's in the bottom of the Dutch oven. We're just going to leave there, just like that. Okay, good. Okay, so working over your bowl, you're gonna go ahead and remove the clam meat. And we're doing that just so that if there's any juice left in the shell, it's gonna land in our bowl. And so let's just remove all the clam meat. You get that beautiful little clam nubbin. Is that a cute one? We've got 24 clams, so we wanna get all the meat from all 24 of them. So while our clam meat and our clam juice cools down a little bit, we are going to choose our clamshells that we're gonna stuff. That's right. I like to find the biggest and the best. So separate your clamshells. One side will normally have this abductor muscle. Save the half that doesn't have the abductor muscle. And we only need 24 clamshells. So we've got our clamshells ready to be stuffed. So now we gotta make that filling. So first things first, we have that beautiful clam meat that we picked out of the shells. So we're gonna go ahead and finely chop the meat. To our large skillet, we're gonna add some butter and turn the heat on so that can start to melt. And 1 onion, finely chopped. In addition to an onion, we need 1 celery stalk that we are gonna finely chop. And what I like to do is just cut it in half so it's a little more manageable, and then cut it lengthwise into little strips. Just makes it a little bit easier to manage. Into skillet with the onion. And 1 medium jalapeño that we are going to stem, seed, and mince. So we're gonna cook these over about medium heat, stirring occasionally until they are tender and softened. In the meantime, we are gonna prepare some of our other filling ingredients. First up, we're gonna make some homemade breadcrumbs. We are using another Portuguese ingredient here. This is a 3-ounce Portuguese roll. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tear it into large chunks right into my food processor. All right, top goes on, and let's give it a whirl. Beautiful breadcrumbs, so good. And now, in my opinion, comes one of the stars of this show, the linguiça. So first, we're gonna cut it into half, and then we're gonna take just half of that half to make a quarter. And because we are gonna grind this in the food processor, we just need to cut this into smaller bits. So I would say about 1/2-inch pieces. Pop on the top, and give it a whirl. And add that ground linguiça. Oh, you can hear the sizzle. Linguiça sausage does have a pretty high fat content. And so what we wanna do at this point, because it's already cooked, we're really looking to render out that fat, because that fat is then gonna get evenly distributed in our filling. That's what's gonna give it so much flavor. So while our linguiça cooks, we are going to pile some baby arugula onto our cutting board, and we're gonna go ahead and give it a chop. We're not using it like a lettuce, we wanna use it like an herb. And this is ready to go. So let's cut off the heat and let's add the rest of our ingredients to our skillet. So first up, those clams are going in. Get them all in there. Arugula goes in. Boop. Our fresh breadcrumbs. All right, let's give this a mix to get those breadcrumbs evenly moistened. Last but certainly not least, we are adding in a half a cup of that reserved cooking liquid. And this is gonna further moisten those breadcrumbs and make sure our stuffed clams are nice and moist. Now we wanna taste our filling for seasoning. So before you add any salt or pepper, just give it a little taste. All right, we're gonna add a little bit of salt and some black pepper. All right, it's time to stuff. Yay, the moment we've been waiting for. If you have extra at this point, just divide it onto the clams that maybe need a little bit more. Look at our beautiful clams. You wanna take a nice big sheet of foil and where you're gonna cover them. Like I said, at this point, you can refrigerate these until you're ready to serve them. But because I cannot wait any longer, popping them into a 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes. Then we're gonna uncover it and cook it another 5. Woohoo! All right, the clams came out of the oven. I transferred them to a platter, and look at how gorgeous these are. I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it. All right, we're gonna go ahead and squeeze it with a little lemon, because you know a stuffed clam loves some lemon. All right, I'm going in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a smile of someone who just came from the beach. Or at least kind of thinks they were at the beach because they're eating something they like to eat when they're at the beach. The linguiça adds this incredible kick of spice. The arugula is fresh and also spicy. Those Portuguese breadcrumbs that we made from the Portuguese roll are soft and tender, which makes the filling so good to eat. I don't know what I'm saying. It's just so delicious. Like, I don't know what else to say. It's so freaking good.